Okay, I call to order this meeting of the Soldiers Memorial Commission. Today is Thursday, September 18th, 2025, and it is 3:02 p.m. And we will proceed according to the agenda. And the first thing on the agenda is the roll call of Soldiers Memorial Commissioners. Okay, so first we have Freddie Dunlap.
Here.
Okay, Jason Fletcher.
Here.
Okay, Janika Hayden.
Present.
Thank you. Judith Hansis. Judith here? No, Judith. Okay, I'm here. Nick, no. Okay, Gilberto Pinella.
Here.
Yep. And Levon Smart.
Here.
Yep. And Steve Wall.
Here.
Okay, I think we've got a quorum. We do indeed. That's perfect. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda then would be the Pledge of Allegiance. And Steve, would you lead us in the pledge? Whoop, let me get it up here first. There we go. And screen sharing. So let me get this share and there we go. There you go. Yeah. So whenever you're ready.
Sure. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the
The
United
United
States
States of America.
and to the
And to
republic
the
for which it
republic
stands,
for which it stands,
one nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty and
justice.
justice
for all.
Okay. Then the next thing on the agenda is the approval of the July 2017 meeting minutes. And maybe if you guys want to take a few minutes to look over those. I think I got everything on there. And then we can call for a vote.
So move. Second.
Okay. Okay, everyone, the commissioners in favor of approving the July 17th, 2025 meeting minutes, please say aye.
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 Okay. Any opposed? No. Any abstentions?
abstain.
Okay, thank you. Freddie abstains. All right. Okay, and let me just go back then here to the. Okay, Mark, it's your show now.
Okay, all right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Not muted or anything like that. All right, good to go. All right. So operations, I think the first thing I'd lead off with is really pleased with working with Gilberto, Jonathan Strong, Justin Strutman from the City Library, and Laura Shaughnessy, one of our board members. We had a great meeting a few weeks ago to discuss what I would call an open air drug market, which was to the north of us, and talked about some steps to take. And then really the city ran with that. And it's the best environment in these, 7 blocks that I've seen in the 7 years that I've been here. I'm not sure what the city did, and I don't know that it's any of my business. I just know that it worked, and that market was shut down. It was in an awful location between Soldiers and the library, right next to the Confluence Academy, right on the path for many SLU law students walking to the university. It really couldn't have been in a worse place. So it's, I know that those problems are multifaceted, way beyond my training, knowledge, experience, whatnot. I could see the problem and I could identify it, but I certainly had no solutions. So working with Gilberto, Jonathan, Laura, and Justin, having that discussion and then seeing the action and the effectiveness. I was extremely concerned that the city was going to fence that park, which has happened in the past, which then they simply move to, and I think there's 5 or 6 parks in our immediate area, so very easy for them to move. So I was very apprehensive that was going to happen again, but it did not. And so I'm very kind of pleased that the fence didn't go up just to move the population to another area. So I'm sure that it's an ongoing challenge. I know it's not over, that's for sure. But certainly the best that this area has been, and that's, we've really been working with that situation in a number of ways. I mean, it's been a major focus for our resource protection officers. It's been, we've developed programs like the shuttles from the county libraries in response to, people not feeling safe or secure and coming downtown. And then of course, if they did and they looked across the street and saw that, it really shoots the city in the foot, right? And it's really hard to establish that. So we had done a lot here, kind of working around that or finding ways to adjust our own operations. But hopefully this sticks for a while. I'm always a little apprehensive, but I really hope it sticks for a while. So thank you to all who were involved, which I'm sure is probably just about every different department in the city, because I think it's such a multifaceted problem. Other report. Yep.
Mark, I just want to say that we are being proactive in the approach. So I know that it seems it could be temporary, and I don't want to get ahead of
Right.
everything that's happening, but just know that we are being proactive in making sure that this is a permanent resolution, not something that is temporary.
Yeah. Thank you, Gilbert.
Okay.
Thank you. However, attendance is doing great. We are through the end of August. These are the numbers. 2024, last year, we were at 13,638. This year, we are at 17,241. So it's a 26% increase over last year, which is fantastic. Still not near our banner year of 2019. We had 27,000 people through the end of August that year. Of course, that was the reopening year, and so it'll be hard to reach those numbers again without something really quite dramatic happening. But maybe we'll get there. I'm not saying we won't, but it's going to be a challenge. But certainly very pleased with the 26% increase. Exhibits like the Ghost Army, the current Tuskegee Airmen exhibit, the upcoming 2 Minutes to Midnight exhibit are major contributors to that. And then some of the programming as well that's really kind of sticking and working well with the public. So we'll keep going with that. Events and programs. Recently, since we last met, anyway, we did the matinees at the memorial. These are always 2 Sundays in August. We showed a Tuskegee Airmen documentary on August 10th. And then on August 24th, we showed the 688, which is the Hollywood film that came out last year. Both of those events had full registrations. We capped it at 100 registrations, and they both filled up. So those are working really well as well. And then there's a lot upcoming. There's a lot going on in the next couple of months. Stand Down is next weekend. Molly really has been in charge of that. She's just got out of a meeting this morning with many different veteran service groups. So that'll be ready. Molly tells me that there's going to be a donkey here, not in the building, trust, but here on the grounds as a support animal, right, Molly? And then
we will have emotional support donkeys and dogs on site for Stand Down.
Yeah, I never imagined a donkey as an emotional support animal, but I also don't know donkeys. Maybe they're great. I really don't know much about them. But anyway, and I don't know where I would put one in my apartment. But anyway, I can do a dog though, and there'll be a few dogs here. All these will be outdoors, but a new element. I think Molly says they're doing hair cuttings, right, Molly?
Yes, we'll have haircuts, chiropractors, housing, food, medical, legal care, everything aimed over 50 vendors and resources for veterans facing homelessness or those at risk.
Yeah, so a great program. Always honored to be host site for that. Really special moment for Soldiers Memorial each year to host that event. And then of course Molly's pretty deeply involved with a lot of the planning and coordinating. So that's coming up. And then on October 4th, Gilberto has pulled together a Hispanic Heritage Month panel discussion. That'll be 10 a.m. October 4th. So please come to that if you can. And if you can't, please share the word of that event. Rolling into November, Saturday, November 8th is the parade, Veterans Day Parade and Celebration. Right on the heels of that, November 11th, actual Veterans Day, the French Society will be here to do the annual wreath laying. And then a special event that kind of developed not too long ago on Sunday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Chamber Project STL will be here to do a free concert in the Assembly Hall. So that should be pretty cool. So they do the chamber music, and they've selected pieces that kind of play to the four Walker Hancock statues and those the courage, vision, loyalty, and service. They have, using their artistic and musical brains, which I lack. They looked at those statues and selected pieces that really kind of played to them. So that'll be kind of a cool event. That'll be Sunday, November 23rd. And then December, I think it's 12th, not long after that, is the Wendell Pruitt Celebration of African American Service, which echoes back to the city's Wendell Pruitt Day in 1944. So that'll be an event. In a nutshell, it's an author and book signing event with lunch offered beforehand. So that'll be a good event. Yeah, that's a high level speaker. It's the PhD type from the East Coast, written many books on service. This book looks at W.E.B. Du Bois and his role in World War I, when African Americans were really forced with the difficult question of should they serve this country that certainly at that point was we're getting into the peak of the Jim Crow and a lot of other nastiness that was going on. They had hard questions to ask themselves about service, and so he W.E.B. Du Bois took a stance on that, and this author has written a book on that perspective. So it should be a very interesting afternoon. And then that should pretty much close up the year, I think. But there's quite a few things between here and there. Exhibits, Tuskegee Airmen, America's Freedom Flyers, that we opened that on June 19th. It closes November 2nd. That's hard to believe, but that's only 6 full weeks from now. And so if you haven't seen it, or if you have friends who haven't seen it, the clock is ticking. So it'll be gone before we know it. And then right after that, we'll open 2 Minutes to Midnight and the Architecture of Armageddon on November 11th, actually on Veterans Day. That's a photographic, what they call like a photographic essay. It's basically an art exhibition of installations, both defensive and offensive, both civilian and military during the Cold War. So think of like underground missile bunkers and Cold War fallout shelters and things like that. It's kind of a artistic and photographic look at those spaces. So we'll see how that goes. It's a pretty short run exhibit that'll only be here November and December. It leaves January 6th. So that'll close out the year with exhibits. The Mac Banner Show is completed but not yet fabricated. Gilberto and the Hispanic Veterans Group of St. Louis helped tremendously on that, pulling the information together, getting some photographs together. We send it off to our editors and graphic designers, so that we haven't seen it yet, but it's getting close, and that should be installed hopefully October 1st, but we think it might be a little bit late. But we did get it together, and I'm really proud that we did a bilingual version of that. So it's both got the English and the Spanish on that. It's 8 banners, basically key stories of Hispanic service, highlighting a few individuals, particularly most who have some sort of connection either to St. Louis or to Missouri or to Jefferson Barracks. So really proud to get that one done. We'll get that installed at the athletic club as soon as we get it, which hopefully will be October 1st. It'll be there for a couple of months, and then the sky's the limit. We can find other places to share that, places that we think are important that they have access to that information. So that's the exhibits. Collections. So this is a big one this time around. So we a lot of you may not be aware of this, but when the transition between the city and the Historical Society happened, there was a number of collections pieces that were they had some mold on them, and those pieces were not brought into the rest of the collection storage area. They were basically segregated out and put into a different offsite storage area. And so now we finally have launched the project to get the inventory done, get the cataloging done, but then systematically also get those artifacts conserved and basically saved, do the mold remediation and things of that nature. It's going to be a massive project. It'll be big. It'll be multi-year, I'm sure. There's 1,400 artifacts, so it's not a small number. But it's time to get those things out of storage, get the mold taken care of, and get them back into the rest of the collection. So our collection staff and facility staff met with Gary, is it Wills, I think, Linnea? Yeah, Gary Wills with the city out at the location where they're stored last week, put our eyes on the storage containers. Everything was in great shape. We went into it with a lot of trepidation, not really knowing what to expect, but the containers are in a very large storage facility. They're not, we had fears that they would be, a lot of other stuff piled around them. They'd be very hard to access and all that, but none of that was the case. They're all very easy to access. They're right next to a storage ramp. Gary Wilson, thank you, Rich. Yeah, right adjacent to a ramp, so they'll be very easy to move and to get in and out. We put eyes on them last Friday. Then we opened those containers on Wednesday, yesterday, and we were with Midwest Mold Remediation. They did air samples. They were both in the green, so they were both within regular health levels. Of course, this is, everything's packed pretty well in there. It's all boxed and a lot of plastic wrap and stuff like that. So that wasn't too unexpected, but the air quality was both within acceptable levels. One of the cases was actually lower than the outdoor environment. So that was probably the biggest surprise. And then they did swabbing of the mold, and that's being sent off to a lab. That'll tell us what species of mold that is, what variety or type have you, and that'll inform the type of PPE, personal protective equipment, and cautions that we need to take as we start opening up those boxes and getting into those artifacts. But it's a great moment for Soldiers Memorial and for the collection that this is starting. It's really a great thing to get this started. Like I said, it'll be a long process. It'll be costly, but we'll get there and we'll get it done and we'll kill the mold. But yeah, so that's collections report. Kate Scott, our collections manager, who I know some of you have met, she'll be the lead on that. She's the project manager. It's in outstanding hands. Kate is excellent organizer, is a very methodical person. So I know it's in great hands, and she'll be leading that effort. So it'll succeed. I'm extremely confident. But I think that's all I have. More than happy to take questions or have some conversation.
Any questions from anybody? I don't
No,
really,
I have,
sorry.
I don't know if you would entertain me for a second on a soldier that's worth mentioning for the Hispanic, history of the Hispanic contributions to our military. Is that something I could mention?
Yeah, go for it, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wife is Hispanic, and she's Nicaraguan American, born here, but her family's from Nicaragua. Her cousin, Harold Trog, I mean, like all of you is an absolute hero. He was active duty for 17 years. I think he served 3 or 4 years downrange. I mean, his left or right sleeve, whatever that is, it has the hash marks for all the downrange. He was a master sergeant, just very decorated. And he lost his life. He was in 17 years and he lost his life. I think he was in Afghanistan. He's buried at Jefferson Barracks. So, yeah, it was just a huge, I mean, it's been quite a few years for us now, but it was a huge loss for our family. And yeah, so he passed away a hero, but, just celebrate, his contributions as well.
So
Yeah, I think that'd be fantastic,
Yeah.
Jason. And the way that the banner show, it's very easy to add to, right? Because they're individual pull-up banners. So, and I was going to talk to Gilberto and the others about that. We've done 8, but we certainly, we've done 10, 12 banner shows in the past. So there's certainly room to grow that. It won't happen by October 1st, mind you, but it's not
for next year.
Yeah, it's a project that will always be around. And so after it goes to the back, then we try to shop it around to libraries and different places. So I think, if we can, I don't know if you want to.
Well, I can get you his information. He was infantry. And in fact, Gilberto, I've never mentioned this, but my wife's family knows you. This is completely offline, but they owned a Mexican restaurant on Grand in Wyoming for like 15 years and used to come Siete Mares. But anyway, I digress. I will get that information over to you. Just an amazing story. Just an amazing story. So
Jason, send me an email with the info, and I'll connect with the group, because we first of all, the Hispanic veterans, we're working, that group it's working to put all these banners, and the more we know of service members, that especially a hero that lost his life, we want to go ahead and highlight them, not only for the purpose of Soldiers Memorial, but also for the community, because sometimes we don't understand, our community suffers from lacking of of confidence when it comes to showcasing, heroes in our midst. So please send me
I
an
will.
email with the info.
I'll send you some of his service shots, some of his
Yep.
in uniform and all that. And then my wife will surely, she has write-ups from when he was laid to rest in Jefferson Barracks. So I
Okay.
can send all that over.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for his service and for your wife's service. And I got to go back to the Mexican restaurant sometime soon.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately they've retired.
Oh, okay.
She's mentioned you here and there over the years when she sees you on
Okay.
Channel 9 and this and that. And she'd say, "Oh, he used to always come in the restaurant."
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. Anyway, thanks for indulging me.
That's excellent, Jason. Thanks so much. We'll work on that.
I'll send that over here in the next week or so. I'll ask my wife to pull some stuff out.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very good. Good. That's exciting.
Any other questions or discussion points for Mark? All these good things. Always good to hear. I guess then we can move on to questions, new business, and announcements. Does anyone have anything for that? Because I actually do, and I'm going to let Nick Morrow talk for a little bit here from the City Councilor's office about a directive from the Board of Aldermen about putting in place rules for governance of Soldiers Memorial Commission. And Nick, do you want to talk now?
Yeah, thanks, Linnea. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an attorney in the City Councilor's office. I'm with our Contracts and Special Projects unit, and wanted to talk about Ordinance 71994. Some of you might be familiar with this. It requires all city boards and commissions to develop and adopt rules. And so those rules could be things like meeting time and location, public notice requirements, the addition of items to the agenda, et cetera, things like that. The idea being that while each board operates differently under different rules, those rules aren't always known to the public or perhaps even members of a particular board. So in short, procedural rules need to be adopted by the commission and then posted online. So within the next few days, Linnea will distribute a draft of proposed rules for the commission. And there's a special meeting scheduled for October 2nd to facilitate discussion of the draft of the rules, for discussion of any proposed changes to those, and then the opportunity for the commission to vote and approve those rules. If during your review of the rules you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'll put my contact information in the chat. And then the last thing to mention here is that the ordinance also requires the City Councilor's office to provide annual training opportunities for board members on the Sunshine Law and Robert's Rules of Order. And so I don't have any details on that right now, but I'm sure that there will be details to follow.
Any questions for Nick? Nick, did I
No,
cut you?
the only question that I have for Nick is, I thought that we already had rules and protocols in place that we needed to follow. So thank you for bringing this up, because I was working under the assumption that we already met those commitments.
Yes. So you're not incorrect in the sense that we're governed by the Sunshine Law. The commission does have ordinances that is applicable or are applicable to the commission. So you're correct that there were rules in place in a sense, but there were no, at least to my knowledge, bylaws or procedural rules in place. And so this is just a good opportunity to help clarify that and get it all down on paper in one place.
And Nick and I met, I guess it was yesterday, and there's no big surprises, I don't think, in this sort of thing. It's basically just the way we operate on paper. Procedures and rules, as he said, for how meetings run and for the members of the board and who they are and who appoints them and that sort of thing. So basically, it's collecting all the things that we're already hopefully practicing and putting them in one place and on paper. Although I'm glad to hear about the Sunshine Law training and also the Robert's Rule of Order training too. That's good to hear as well. And again, we have to set up a special meeting for this. So I think you might have gotten invitations already from the City of St. Louis Communications about meeting as a webinar on Thursday, October 2nd at 3 p.m., which will hopefully give everyone enough time to look through the rules that we put together, that Nick has put together, and get with Nick if you have some questions about that. And also then we can hopefully review them and discuss them on the 2nd. And if everything's in order, we can put them in place and vote on them and put them in place. Anything else for anybody? Anybody? I really thank Nick a lot for taking the lead on this. It's been very helpful, to say the least. Okay, no more questions or new business or announcements, then I guess I can call for an adjournment of the September 18th, 2025 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, okay. Abstentions? Okay. Meeting of the September 18th, 2025 Soldiers Memorial Commission is adjourned, and it is 3:34 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.